Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a live on Instagram as well as here on YouTube. So I'll be across like two screens. So we're going to get that started.
Hi everyone, welcome. And let me see.
Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a live on Instagram as well as here on YouTube. So
oils are today and just doing a quick Q&A. Pretty much the whole of October is going to be essential oils for you. So we will be I'm just connecting Serene. Hi Serene.
Hi. It says, can you hear me?
Yeah, seems better. The connection seems okay, right?
On my screen, it says we're having trouble loading this live video. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, it's raining here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. I can hear you and I can see you, but you're a bit slow on the video.
Okay.
So, right, so let's get down to it. How you been?
Good. How have you been?
Good. All good. Busy. Health is in now.
Yep.
Everybody wants to be healthy. Everyone wants to know what is immunity.
Yep. Yeah. It's about time.
The inward now, so there's lots of it. It's about time. I'm like finally so happy that people are asking me. The shift has happened from I want to lose weight to I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was always about, you know what, I just want to lose 5 kilos. I don't care about anything else. Now it's like, hey, I care about everything else. I want my family to be healthy. So that's really, that's been such a good shift for me. I don't have to convince people that they need to get healthy.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
So how's it going? So tell me about your essential oils. So today we're just doing a quick Q&A today, guys, because we want to introduce essential oils to you. Like I said, the whole of October. Essential oils is basically something that I use all the time. They're there in my tea today. I've got the little bottles. I've got a bottle of ginger, got a bottle of lemon, got a bottle of orange. It's always there. And so we want to address, because I think essential oils is this whole world of people only used it when in their aromatherapy diffusers before, which was something that I did as well. I loved the whole concept of it, but I had no idea about it. And then I just decided I would like buy the cheapest oil just to diffuse in my house. I did not understand, how important it is to get the right oils and stuff like that. So let's begin. So what are essential oils and how do they come into your life?
Yeah. So I guess a couple of things. They actually were introduced into my life probably like years back when I was like younger, where we would have like essential oils for aromatherapy, or I think everyone has some sort of experience with essential oils. They might just not have known that it is essential oils that they're actually using. So with myself, I started actually using them about 6 years ago when I was pregnant with my son, where I know I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting sick during the pregnancy because my husband was traveling back and forth from India, as well as a lot of airplane travel. So I wanted to make sure that I was diffusing something in the room that would kind of clear the air, support both of our immune systems, as well as ensure that we were the best that we could be. So that's kind of where the journey started, where I was introduced to it from another mom group where they kind of got me hooked on it. And we did like a make and take where I took home like a few roller bottles that I had made. And that's kind of when I started realizing you can use these essential oils for a lot more than aromatherapy, as you mentioned, where having things that just smell good is great. And that is one of the biggest things that affect our mood and our mind, but also being able to apply them onto our skin or add them into our food or drink them in our water is also something that's like so safe and so for something for us to be able to do and add into our lifestyle.
Which we never knew about, right? That how and it's amazing. Forget about like how good it is for you, the flavors that you get from it. For me, the flavors, I'm hooked onto the flavors right now because it's like boom, it just completely flavors food so easily.
Yes.
And so healthy food can be so, they're just spice bombs, they're flavor bombs, and they're good for you. So that's so nice. So tell me, what are your favorite oils, and what
So my
oils do you like using?
My favorite one to use, or the one that I use the most, is On Guard. And that one is a great support for immune systems, as well as whenever my kids are sick or anything, I use them for like coughs, colds, fevers, to basically support their immune system, to give it that extra boost. And then I also use it for like cleaning countertops, cleaning my floors. So that's where like you can use an essential oil.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And that's where like one essential oil is so versatile, where you don't have to just use it for one thing. You can use it for so many other things. And then another oil that I got is Island Mint. I just got this one in, and it's basically like a summertime blend, and it's so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds so exotic.
So
exotic.
that's kind of where there's so many different blends and oils that you can use. And I would say like my favorites probably change like every time a new one comes out, or every time like a new blend comes out. It's always one that I want to have and at least try out for sure. But lemon and On Guard are probably my absolute favorites and go-tos every day.
For me, it's orange. Orange, I have a big soft spot for orange, and I love the peppermint as well. I think they're just so big on flavor. And now I suddenly started getting, after getting in with you and starting doing the talks with you, I suddenly realized I had ginger at home and I've never used it,
Yeah.
And now I'm like loving it. Like last night we made a little tisane, lemongrass tisane, and I put in ginger, and it was like, you know what, there's already ginger in my tea. And I was like, this is completely different from that. Don't worry, it's going to taste really different.
Yeah.
So you can put ginger in it and put the ginger oil, and it tastes even better. And so much better for you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where like even like satays or like dips and stuff like peanut and ginger tastes amazing. So I guess anyone that's joined us today, if you guys want to comment to say what your favorite oil is as well, we'd love to hear which oils you guys love to use.
And what are your questions? I mean, Zareen is here and she can ask you, she will answer all your questions today. What do you think about essential oils? Anywhere to get them, you can always contact her or her page. What is your page called?
It'll be the healingoilistic.com, or zareenbardat.com is the website. And then from there, it'll redirect you with instructions and different options, as well as feel free to add me on Instagram, DM me, and then we can connect and reach out to get you set up. So what we'll do is
you can address different problems, right?
Yes.
Whether it's pregnancy or it's postpartum, everything, right? Everything you have oils to kind of relieve most of your symptoms. I know a lot of people have menstrual issues, a lot of people talk about swelling, so a lot of people talk about bloating a lot, and I think that's a really common problem that people don't think has a solution per se. You know, they think that it's something that they have to deal with, but I don't think that. I think it's just so easy to be able to put essential oils. Where are the places on the body that are really good if you're doing a therapeutic essential oil?
So that's kind of where, like, for example, if you do like a massage, for a lot of people that they do massages and go for massages, one of the things that you can always do is take your own essential oils with you and ask them, okay, add a couple of drops into that. So that way you're getting that additional therapeutic benefit. So if you're looking for like lymphatic drainage, pink pepper is like a really good essential oil to add in to kind of either dry brush on your skin or even just add into a massage. And you'll notice that sometimes, like, if it's your first time using it, you might pee a little bit more because your body's kind of draining out that excess fluid. And then the next one is like, you can always put them on wherever the ailment is. So like, for example, if it is like your stomach is bloated or gassy, rub the essential oil diluted with either some coconut oil or any other carrier oil that you use, and just rub it across your stomach or your abdomen. And for little children, anyone like under the ages of 6 or so, if they don't like the aroma for some of the oils, as well as to make sure that they don't ingest it in their mouths, what you can do is you can dilute it and put it on the bottom of your feet. So any of the oils that you might not like the smell of, because some of them are medicinally smells. So the bottom of the feet is really good because that's where your pores are the largest. So even if you're working on something for like diabetes or for sugar support, you can still put it on the bottom of your feet and it'll absorb all throughout your body. So that's where your body's able to metabolize it.
That's something you never realized, right? You never ever realized that putting it at the bottom of your feet is so important.
Yeah.
And Samantha, hi. She says, how do you dilute the essential oils?
So what I do is like, typically if I'm diluting it myself, I will just add in like a drop into the palm of my hand, and then I will mix in some carrier oil. So if I have like coconut oil, I'll just kind of fill it up. So like the well that's automatically made in your hand is between 1 teaspoon and 1 tablespoon, kind of depending on the size of your hand. So I would start with like one drop.
It won't affect your palm.
No.
It won't affect your palm so much?
You'll feel it on your palm, but that's kind of where you're going to be adding the dilution mixture in there, and then you can just rub it across. Another way is you can either create it as like a roller ball. So that way it's already ready to use. If it's something that you're going to be using for yourself or your kids, like on a regular basis, you can dilute. So there are different ratios depending on how often you're wanting to use the oils. So if it is something that is a daily usage, so you would maybe want to put in about like 10 or 15 drops of the essential oil in a 10 ml roller bottle, and then top the rest off with coconut oil. Or if it's something that you're going to use once in a while, so for like coughs or colds or fevers. So for anyone over the ages of 12, you could almost do like a 50-50 ratio. So it'd be like 50% oil, 50% carrier oil. And what the carrier oil does is basically just dilutes it a little bit for the sensitivity, as well as it allows it to basically get absorbed and be more viable into the body. So it also takes a lot more surface area as well when you're applying your skin versus just applying the oil by a direct drop. So some oils you can apply a direct drop onto your skin. For example, like lavender, it's very calming. But if you are someone that has sensitivities or someone that's just starting, we always recommend diluting it. And you can never dilute it too much. You can always add more oils to it afterwards, but start with less. So less is more when you're starting.
Do you use baby oil instead of coconut oil?
Yeah, any carrier oil. Like even if you have like a lotion, you can always, anything that's like acts as like a carrier to the oil, you can add it in.
So Anjana wanted to know what to do about water retention and puffiness in their face.
So what you can do is like, so even for myself, like what I'll do is in my face oil, I make like a face oil and I change it up every month. So you can even add in like a drop of pink pepper into the face oil or even into your moisturizer. If you find like you're puffy when you wake up at night in the mornings, what you can do is just add in a drop of pink pepper, just massage it into your face with your regular nighttime routine. Just make sure you're avoiding your eyes, and then you'll notice the difference.
So the most important question, how important is the oils that you buy? Since I know that there aren't any standards and the licensing is very iffy-ish. Yeah. So it is important because you can damage a lot more than heal, right?
Yeah.
By the wrong oils.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like when you're buying oils, read the ingredients, research the company that you're buying from, as well as remember that what you're inhaling in, whether it be perfumes or pure fumes or essential oils, or even just your environment, all of that affects your body. And those are all toxins or chemicals that are being absorbed into your body, either through your respiratory system or everything that you're applying. So like whether you're applying creams, moisturizers, makeup, those are all things that you're applying on a day-to-day basis, with your skin being your largest organ. So when it comes to brands, the brand that I support, and I've tried a lot of different brands, is Doterra, because of the fact that on the bottom of every one of their bottles, it has a sourcing number. So it has like a batch number where you can go to their website, which has third-party testing, where it'll tell you exactly what is in each batch. So it'll tell you if there are any toxins in it, if there's any lead, and if there's any chemicals, or if there's any adulteration. So that's kind of where you know that this company is looking out for its end user. And that's what you want to do. Is no other company does that. And that's where it's so important to make sure you do your research. And that's where I'm telling you, go out. If you want to go and buy like other oils and stuff, try them, compare the smells, side by side comparison where you're smelling one and smelling another one, and you'll automatically notice the difference where you'll see, okay, this one, something else has been added to it, or it smells very alcohol-y. So once you start using some of these oils, you'll notice, and that's where, unless you are using a brand that you trust and that you believe in, do not ingest any of these oils. Because like if you go to your medical store and you buy an essential oil, don't ingest it. Read the label on the bottle, because like for the doTERRA ones, like the ones that are ingestible, it'll actually tell you add in 1 drop into 4 ounces of water. So it'll also explain it. So always read the labels, always see what they say, because for example, one of the biggest things is in a lot of companies, they will say, okay, it is pure essential oil. But if you actually read the ingredients, the first ingredient will be coconut oil or jojoba oil or something else, where what is actually, I guess,
it's been diluted.
Yeah,
so it's very diluted.
Yeah, and that's where it's not as powerful or impactful with what the benefits are that you're going to be receiving. So any company that says, okay, pure essential oils, they actually legally only have to have only 5% of the actual essential oil in them. So that's where it's scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's scary as to saying like, okay, that means like 95% of something else in there that you might not know of. So that's where definitely do your research. Like, we're not telling you go with the brand that we're recommending, like do your own research and find products that you believe in. But if you're wanting to definitely try the doTERRA essential oils, definitely reach out to either Mary or myself, and we would love to get you started. And that's where right now doTERRA doesn't have a warehouse in India, but they will be getting a warehouse in 2021. So with that, we're assisting with like bringing in the product reasonable prices. So that's kind of where follow the brand that you believe in.
And yeah, there are really, really few companies in the world that have as big a repertoire or as many types of oils. I mean, they have the largest, I think, they have the most amount of oils that are available. Mm-hmm. And what I love about them is that, like you said, right, you get turmeric everywhere, but they will source the turmeric from the place that is most therapeutic and not put in turmeric from anywhere and everywhere. Yes. Which is very important. It's something that we don't think about. We don't think about sourcing and how important sourcing is and where it should be grown and how it should be grown, and how it then makes such a big difference to your body. Like for example, frankincense, right? It's so good for debilitating diseases like cancer, and it spins on another axis. It's been so old and so interesting to read about. But I also heard a lot of people using it, when they go on public speaking and stuff like that. They feel like if they put a drop in, you feel a lot more energized or something. Is that it?
Yeah, it's also very grounding and calming. And that's where
people are anxious for anxiety.
Yep. Yeah, and that's where one oil can be used for so many things. Like, so you can use it for basically for cancer support, to basically use it for calming, anxiety, as well as like for my son, he had like a major scar. So he had like a gouge of stones, like he's a 5-year-old, so accident prone. So I actually use that to basically help regenerate the skin as well as to reduce like the redness from it. And I first used like a regular scar cream, like an over-the-counter scar cream that you could get, as well as a prescription one. And I found that made it more inflamed. Whereas as soon as I switched over to just using frankincense, it automatically like started pulling out the redness and helping like restore the skin and kind of restructuring it. So that's
that
where
would be good for skin as well, right?
Yeah.
So just like in my skin, like I suffer from lots of skin anxiety. I call it skin anxiety now because I don't know whatever word to use for it. So when it flares up, so frankincense would be a good one to use.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. So that always goes in like a face oil. Frankincense.
There are some more questions. What can you do for gas and flatulence? To rub on your abs and your stomach and stuff like that. What can you do for migraines?
So
those two questions.
For basically for digestive issues as well as for gas and bloating, externally, if you're wanting to apply something topically, you can use a blend called Digescent, and that has like fennel, caraway, anise, peppermint, all of the good oils and the spices that you know of, but these are basically so much more potent and so much more effective, where you can rub them diluted across your abdomen and get the benefit, and it'll relieve you within like a couple minutes. You'll notice like how quickly it helps. Also, doTERRA has like other capsules that are enterically capsulated. They're enterically coated, so that way they're able to dissolve and be absorbed into the body in the right area. So for example, if someone has irritable bowel syndrome, you don't want to be having the essential oil dissolve in the stomach. You want it to make sure that it goes into the intestines and it dissolves in the correct locations. So that's where using the capsules that doTERRA has, they're coated specifically so that way they're able to benefit that specific area. And there have actually been research and studies to back that science up to say that when they are enterically coated and capsulated, they are extremely beneficial for people with irritable bowel syndrome, regular occurrences of gas and bloating. And that's also where, yes, you can use the essential oils, but I also recommend looking at your diet, seeing maybe what is triggering that. Is there any specific food? And that's, Mary, where you can maybe come in to kind of say what specific foods, like keep a food journal if you're finding that is regularly occurring.
Yeah, it can be something you're eating every day that's causing it. And it also can be stress. It can just be stress.
Yeah.
And so that's when I find essential oil is so therapeutic. It helps complement even your foods. It helps complement, it helps aid you in your stress relief, because so many times we don't even realize it. We're stressed. It's like I enjoy my work. I love my job, but it's stressful and I don't even realize it because I love it. And I'm constantly, trying to get stuff online, trying to get content out. I don't rest. And then I realize that it's really, really stressful and I don't even realize it, right? So then just having these essential oils makes such a big difference. Every time I want to just, stay calm, I want to drink like this infused with it is so interesting. Oh yeah, quickly, can you just tell everybody, if you put them into the easiest way is probably put them into hot water with your teas and stuff like that. And what are the two ways of
I'll go back. There was the one question regarding the headaches or the migraines. So for that, I love, there's either like a blend called Past Tense or In Tune, which already come as like ready-made roller bottles, or I do a blend of like 50-50 frankincense and deep blue and mix that with like a carrier oil. And I find those work the best.
Yeah, so it's so great. This company has these blends. So you can just buy the blends first instead of having to buy a whole bunch of oils first. First buy like 3 or 4 blends and you can use them for so many things.
Yes. Yeah. So with that, different ways, so like water, adding them into water. I would recommend adding them into like warmer water, not extremely hot water, because adding it into extremely hot water will also change some of the chemical constituents of the essential oil. So you will still get the benefit of it, but try to add it into either like a room temperature water or like a warm water. And then also adding it into your smoothies or your shakes are a really good way to also get that in.
And flavor it up.
Yeah. And then also if you're looking, so like if you find you're getting acidity or you're having digestive issues, celery seed oil is a really good one to be adding into your smoothies. So that way that'll kind of help with the balancing of the acidity levels. And that is one that should be ingested because it kind of helps with the lining of the esophagus. So
celery seed oil is the same as celery, is it?
Yes. So it comes from the seeds. And that's where like for people that do celery juicing and stuff, where celery seed oil is like so great, where you don't have all the pulp that you have to dispose of afterwards.
No, so, and we can't source clean celery.
Yeah.
It's really hard to source.
Yeah. Celery is one of the dirtiest vegetables out there. So keeping it organic is the best option, but when you don't have that available, celery seed oil is a great alternative.
What about pigmentation?
For pigmentation, frankincense is really good. Rose, sandalwood, geranium is good as well. Lime is also really good for pigmentation for like, so dark under eye circles. However, lime, when you're using it, you don't want to use it during the daytime because it is photosynthesizing. So it can actually darken it or make it worse if you go out in the sun after you've applied it. So put it on before you go to bed. But lime is one of the best ones for under eye circles or for any of that type of pigmentation.
Yeah, and Zareen is always there, guys, for you to contact, and she will always help you with what you need and the kind of oils you need first. And like she said, she brings it down. Right now, she sorts out all your issues of it being transported and coming into India with all the
Customs and all of that stuff. Yeah.
stuff
No,
like
none
that.
of those headaches that you guys have to deal
none
with.
of those headaches are there. And then next year is going to open up here. So yeah, because that's why I never ever really talked about essential oils so much, because I had no idea where to get them here. I would get them from abroad all the time. And I finally met you, and you solved all those problems, and that's why I've been so excited about doing this month, because I really want people to understand it's such a big part of a healing journey. It's such a big part of your healthy lifestyle. It helps. I mean, we're going to do a couple of Insta lives and talks about this month. We apparently are exposed to almost 70,000 chemicals in a day. We just have things just pushed at us, and our bodies are trying to process it all and deal with it. And we put so many products on. We do so much to our bodies that actually cause more damage than good. And if we can just reduce all of those, if you can switch, and your medicine cabinet can become your essential oil cabinet for all your little things that actually add up to something really big, right?
Yeah.
So so it's very, very important to be able to understand this, learn about this, get introduced to this whole new world, and figure out what works for you and what you need. So Namrita wants to know if essential oils are recommended for sensitive skin.
Yes. So that's where, when you're using something that is actually pure and of a therapeutic grade, it is recommended for sensitive skin. So for example, on my YouTube page, I just done a video on someone that had skin for a chemical burn. So like they had been bleaching their skin. So they were getting a reaction from the bleach, and they had basically gotten to the point where their skin was like very sensitive. So depending on what type of sensitivity you have for that, like if it's like from like a burn or something else, I would recommend putting your oils mixed in with water and some witch hazel or something, and putting it into like a spray bottle. So that way you're spritzing it on, because you don't want to be having as much contact with that skin at that time, because it is going to be very sensitive. But like if your skin is like a baby skin or a senior citizen skin, their skin is also very thin, very sensitive. And that's where you would dilute it further. Find a carrier oil that works for you. So like coconut oil, I always recommend fractionated coconut oil, so that way it doesn't have the typical aroma of coconut oil, as well as it doesn't solidify, and it has a non-greasy feel. So like when you're used to like your regular coconut oil, it's greasy or sticky, and sometimes people break out from it. That's where I always recommend fractionated coconut oil, or find another oil or cream that might work for you and for your skin type. And it doesn't have to be the same throughout the year. And then kind of mix in the oils from that. So if your skin's very sensitive, start with lavender, tea tree, copaiba, Roman chamomile. Those are all really good ones that are also gentle. So try some of like the more gentle oils, depending on what you're trying to achieve with using them. And that's where, again, reach out to me or Mary after this call, send us a DM, and we can set up like one-on-one consultations with you to kind of see which oils would be best suited for your areas of health and focus.
You did mention something about witch hazel. What is that?
So witch hazel is like an astringent, and it's also like an emulsifier. So like when you mix oil and water, it doesn't directly dissolve into each other. So oil and water don't mix. So that's where either like witch hazel or vodka or glycerin or like salt, you would always add in, or like even like cream, you would always add in something else into the water to kind of get it to emulsify and distribute itself across the water. So that's where you would kind of add in some type of carrier. But with that witch hazel, I always recommend unscented. Anything that you buy, like whether it's like any carrier oils or any emulsifiers, always try to get them unscented, because I know the one time I bought aloe vera gel off of Amazon and it was supposed to be unscented, but I got it and I was like, there's something else in here. So that's where, if you're really sensitive, look at the products, make sure you're using clean products. And when you're mixing it and diluting it, do like a test patch on your skin. So like either in your inner elbow, a little, or behind like your ear, somewhere that is discreet, but is also like a sensitive part of your skin, and do a test patch to kind of see how it suits you.
So somebody wanted to know what the pink pepper was for.
So the pink pepper is for lymphatic drainage. We use it a lot for breast health as well. So like if you are someone that has a history of breast cancer in your family, like 2 drops of pink pepper, 2 drops of frankincense or geranium, those are great to also do as like a lymph node drainage across your breasts, or also just on a regular basis. And this is one oil that I use. I'll mix that with like lavender and do it as like a dry brush, at least a couple times a week. But that's where for lymphatic drainage, it's very good for that, and for just your cell rejuvenation.
Great. Okay, so someone wanted to know, what is pumpkin oil good?
Pumpkin oil. I have never used pumpkin oil. Is it pumpkin? Was it a typo?
You've used the essential oil. You've used the essential oil, which you love, right? The pumpkin spice.
The harvest spice. Yeah.
The harvest spice. Sorry, I thought that was pumpkin.
Yeah. So the harvest spice. Yeah. So harvest spice is amazing. That one I use for diffusing, for the aroma. But what I do, like for pumpkin spice, like if you're wanting to make like a pumpkin pie, or like kind of get the same, like for even apple pie, you can do like your cloves, cinnamon, cardamom. Like if you're doing like baklava, or like any of these like exotic dishes, or like not even exotic dishes, but like even if you're making applesauce, or like oats with like apples or pumpkins, it's a great way to spice it. And that's where there's so many oils, like coriander, cardamom, lemon, basil, all of the different varieties of ones that you might not even be able to source regularly, but that's kind of where you can always experiment with them in your food.
Super. And what else do we want to know? Yeah, somebody asked a question about tea tree extract. Is it good for oily skin?
It is. So I find some people like the tea tree extract, or some people's skin is suitable for it, where it's very nice for balancing out the skin, but also for acne prone skin. However, I've also had people where it makes their acne worse. So that's where it's always good to try like a small amount of the oil first, to kind of see how your skin reacts to it. And that's kind of where, again, with the oils, what I find is anyone that has oily skin or T-zone skin, it's usually because you're not moisturizing enough, or you're not using the right moisturizers, because it's your body's way of telling you, I need to continue to excrete these oils and overproduce them because you're not moisturizing me. Like even for my skin, like I have T-zone skin, where it's like usually like super greasy here, but I basically now, I just use fractionated coconut oil and a blend of different essential oils that I'll pick and choose based off of what I want. And I find no matter how hot or humid it is, I don't get like that shiny sheen to my skin as much, as well as it's very nice for balancing it. And then during the winter months, I'll switch over to like jojoba or something thicker to moisturize and nourish my skin more. So that's where, if you have...
Did you have big differences, and how long did it take? Like it does take some time, right?
I would give it like a week. I noticed like the change, and even like, so yeah, my skin, it was like probably a week that I noticed that it started looking a lot more hydrated, and the greasiness wasn't there. And that's again carrier oil based as to kind of what you're using. And again, like even with natural deodorants, like when you make the shift to using like an antiperspirant to natural deodorants, you are going to notice, like, don't give up. You will notice your body's distinguishing odors, or like you're going to be excreting smells that may not be normal, but it's also your way of your body detoxing. and that can last. Yeah, and that can last like a week or two. But honestly, my suggestion is push through it. Your body is detoxing all those chemicals and all those smells and toxins. And if you guys have not already shifted to like natural deodorants, or using like either like blends, do that. Yes.
First thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah. And then even
also I heard like exactly like what you said about the skin. a lot of times, like say acidity, is too little acid. It's not too much acid.
Yes.
It's that your body, it's that you're not eating right at all, and so it's producing too little acid so many times. So many times stuff in your body is not an overproduction of something. It happens, as a it happens because there are different things in your body that you need to calm down and look at. And kind of step back and see what is the problem. So even if you have, if you sweat a lot and you have underarm odors, it is not prudent to put in more and more and more products. It just masks it for a little while. But trying to figure out what's really wrong, and why this is happening makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And that's kind of where like what we can like partner up and do is also like in the future, like doing like 2-week detoxes with everyone where we use like integrate some of the essential oils to detox. And one of the things, like, I want you guys to go home and I'm sure you guys are already at home, but go and check under your cabinets, see what cleaning agents you're using, see what makeup products you're using, look at the ingredients on them, because there's so many things that these little things that you're using every day can affect your life. And that's where a lot of women are also seeing like breast cancer because of like these underarm deodorants, because of the toxins that they're always constantly absorbing.
I didn't even realize I used to get like lumps under my lymph nodes were swollen from deodorant, from antiperspirants. I had absolutely no idea that, it was so scary to see that all these things would happen. And imagine the amount of stuff that was going into it that they had to swell up.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, it's scary because like people are like, oh, well, if it was bad for you, the government wouldn't sell it or the government wouldn't approve it. But it's like the government makes money off all this. So
Nobody, you do your own research and you need to really, if you ever read food labels, make sure anything that you use, anything that you put on your body, you understand the words that are put in there. If there are any words that you don't understand, it's probably made in a lab. It's probably not that good for you. So you have to stick with stuff that you understand, This is food for your skin. This is food for your skin. It's food. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it should be that you can eat it as well as put it on your skin. If you can't, then it shouldn't be, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
So what essential oils would you recommend for your underarms?
So lime.
What do you for the deodorant? Okay.
So Doterra actually has like a natural essential oil that they use where they use like balance, as well as if you guys, what we'll do is during this month, we'll actually do like a DIY for make your own deodorant where you can use like.
That would be so cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll do it
next week.
Yeah. So it'll be like basically like arrowroot powder and then kind of different oils that you're looking for. So like there's a blend called Balance, which is really nice. And that they also use in their deodorant that they make, which is all natural. So there's like different types. So depending on your skin type, they have one for like sensitive skin, and then they have one for regular skin. So the sensitive skin one uses typically arrowroot powder instead of like the baking soda and the baking powder, because sometimes people will be a little bit more sensitive to that. And then the essential oils like lime, bergamot, Balance, some of the citrus ones are really good. But again, if you're going to use any of the citrus ones, don't go sunbathing with your armpits up. So
yeah, you have to be careful of a few things. So we'll do a last one because we've really run out of time. Hair fall. Hair fall has a lot to do with the food that you eat, actually.
It is. And it's also stress related. So hair fall, one of the biggest things is stress as well with it. Stress and sleep, as well as hormone balancing. So for women, it's also like the hormones that are constantly being changed, as well as the nutrition and the supplements. So Mary can kind of go into more nutrition and the supplement side, but for the essential oils, if it's like postpartum or you're having issues where you're finding that it's more hormonal based, clary sage, clary calm, rose oil, those are all great oils for women and for hormonal balancing to basically support that. And those oils you can either mix into like an oil and massage into your scalp, or you can just put them on the bottom of your feet. So that's kind of where it gets absorbed and it affects everything. Then the other one.
The bottom of your feet, you don't need to mix a carrier oil.
You can do a carrier oil with that as well too.
You can do. Okay.
Yeah. And then, and that's kind of where the bottom of the feet, it's also dependent, and even your hands, depending on where reflexology is. So depending on where like specific reflex points are, you can target those and just kind of massage it a little bit more. The other oils that would be good for that is if you're doing like, if you have shampoo or conditioners, are some of the really good oils for kind of stimulating the scalp and stimulating the blood flow and getting that new growth of hair. So that's kind of where you'll start seeing a lot of baby hairs starting to pop out. And those are really good for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zareen. That was amazing. And guys, we're going to be doing a lot more of these because I can see a lot of questions and everybody is really keen on learning more. And like Zareen said, we'll do one on DIY. You can make your own underarm deodorant. We can talk about cleaning your homes and stuff that you can use to reduce the toxic load in your homes. I wanted to show you what I made today. This is always in my fridge. These are raw cacao balls and they've been made with peppermint oil and orange oils. I do different flavors for each one. They smell so good. I can't tell you how good they smell. And they're so simple and they're so full of health, you know?
Yeah.
So making stuff like this is something that I always use. And you really, really need to get into them. So all the best. Thanks, Zareen. Thank you so
Mary.
much. And you guys, please send in your questions. We are here for you all month. And please send in your questions. And looking forward